Today is the day that I do something with all this mess back here. I need to do something with the front yard. Too cheap for sod, and the weather's cooling off. So what do? What I'm going to do is I'm going to seed tall fescue, turf type tall fescue. Now fescue is not a popular turf, grass, whatever in my area. I'm kind of down south, not super down south. I'm in Wilmington, North Carolina, right near the coast. It's popular in the western part of North Carolina, definitely not popular here. It oftentimes gets too hot here. The only way it's usually sown is for winter color. People oversee warm season grasses with it. But I'm gonna try to sow it and see if I can get it to survive next summer. But the soil temperatures have come way down, and now's the time to do it if you're gonna try it. Now, I'm not an expert or anything. I've just done my research, and I'm just adding my version of 1,000 other fescue seeding videos. Now, why do I think I can get away with seeding fescue and making it live through the summer? Let's talk about it. Well, to start with, I got irrigation. Monsoon 8000 is live in the front yard now. I didn't film a video on it because it wasn't nothing but a repeat of the backyard. It's just more roots and stuff. It sucked. But I rented a trencher this time. I didn't put myself through that with the front yard. Number two, my house faces north. That's north. And I got a slope. It slopes down that way. It's hard to see on the camera because cameras really don't pick up slopes real good. But north's that way, and the sun comes up over there, and then it goes way around, and it comes around like this, and then it sets over there. So most of the day, the yard's shady. I got those 3 big trees right there, so from about here over is shady, and then you can see where the house is from to about here. The only spot I think I'm gonna have a problem in the dead heat of summer is gonna be from about there to there. Also, the coolest thing is, if I can make this work, I'll have a green lawn all winter. And everybody else has warm season grass, so that's like instant stunting on your neighbors because it's green and theirs is brown. Now, off camera, I've already treated all the weeds and stuff in this yard with Roundup. I did that about 3 days ago. It's killed off most of it. This is not gonna be like I did on my zoysia seeding. With the zoysia, I wanted to rake everything up and get all the weeds out. With fescue, I'm throwing it right on top. All the places you've seen out here is where I was attempting to level it, where I put in those irrigation lines. It's a lot better than it was. It's not perfect. I'm not looking for a super flat, real cut Bermuda lawn. We're doing fescue here, so it ain't got to be perfect. Let's get started, shall we? We'll take this spray paint right here, and I'm gonna set up my tree rings so I'll know where not to seed, where eventually I'm gonna put mulch. Here we go, tree rings. Got everything marked, and that guy. All right, let's take a look at what I'm gonna throw down today. 5-star tall fescue. This is something I picked up from my local landscape supply. I don't know much about it, but it checks all the boxes. Drought tolerant, fast germinating, full sun and shady, lower growing, less mowing. And then I got this from the Home Depot. This is box store seed. It's got some weed content in it. I'm going to use that Southern Gold on my side piece by the street. Shout out to Real Old Dad for side piece. I don't know if you can see this. Those are the cultivars, or whatever you call them, species of tall fescue in there, and you can't hardly see it. One of them's called Nightcrawler, and I think that's one of those rhizonomous spreading type tall fescues, or spreads a little bit at least. So I picked up an overcedar, or a slit cedar, or a slice cedar, whatever you want to call it. That thing, I got it from my local rental place that's right down the street. It's not real expensive. The reason why I'm going to do that is because I mentioned earlier the slope. Well, my thoughts are if I can get them buried, they won't wash away if we get a bad rain. And that's exactly what that thing does. It's also got a seed box on the front, but I'm not going to use the seed box because I don't know the calibration at all, and I ain't gonna lie, that thing looks kind of clapped. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spread it with my drop spreader because I know what it'll do, and then I'm going to turn around and bury it with that. That's a trick I saw Pete Denny do, the GCI turf guy. When he seeds fescue, that's exactly the way he does it. He don't use the seed box on his own machines. He spreads it by hand or with a spreader, and then he comes back and cuts it in with that thing. That's exactly what I'm going to do. I got all the seed down. I seeded at about 8 pounds a thousand, and I went ahead and put that Southern Gold over on the side piece. So we'll see how this is going to work out. Now I need to take this guy right here and groove it all in. Let's see how it's going to look when I get done. Man, the sun gonna pop out about the time I started using the slit cedar. That thing's heavy. And now I'm out of breath. Let's look and see what I did. I grooved the whole yard in. See the lines? See my shadow? I can't help it. Well, if you can see the lines right here, they're running this way all the way up to about there. So my whole yard slopes this way, and then there's a hill right there and it slopes this way too. So I kind of made a curved job right here, and then all that stuff from the fence, the side piece from the fence to the street, is cut this way. Now let me get out the whiteboard and show you my thinking and the reason why I did that. All right, let's do a doodle. My thought is, you've got a slope like this with a bunch of those seeds sitting on it, and they're not really buried that good, and when it rains, it's gonna run, it's gonna push it right off in the street. But if I take this and I put little slits in there like this, then my thought is that these little seeds that are sitting up here, if the ones that didn't get buried, will fall down into little slits, and then as the water runs, it'll kind of just cover the slits up, and then everybody will get buried more, and I'll have minimal seed loss, and everything will be nice. That's at least the plan. I don't know if that's the right way to use that slit cedar, you know, as far as making one pass and making it to where trying to use it as a way to keep the water from running as bad. I don't know, that's just me just trying to attempt to use my brain. I guess we'll see when I do an update on this if it worked or not. Now it's time for starter fertilizer. Let's see what I got right here. This is what I picked up. This is the Scott's product that's got mesotrione in it, aka tenacity. Well, first thing I want to tell you is I made a zoysia seeding video. Don't put this on your zoysia because nothing will come up, and what does will turn white and die very quickly. But what this stuff's for, or what you use mesotrione for, is to try to keep the weeds at bay while the fescue germinates. People are reporting mixed results. I don't know, I'm gonna try it. Something's better than nothing. You can get a spray version of mesotrione and you can spray bare soil, but it's a real low use rate stuff, and my spray game ain't tight enough for me to feel confident in that. My spreader game's on point, so that's why I'm going with this weeding feed right here. It's called a weeding feed, but it's not really a weeding feed. It's kind of a starter fertilizer with some pre-emergent in it. Hopefully any weed that tries to germinate amongst my fescue will turn white and die as it comes up. So this starter fertilizer is a 21-22-4. Well, I have a potassium deficiency, so I need to put down some potassium with this nitrogen. So I'm gonna make another app. I'm gonna put down this 0022. It's called K-Mag, and I don't know much about K-Mag. It's magnesium and potassium. But here's the main thing. It's got only a 2% chlorine. Muriate of potash has got a lot more chlorine than that, and it can dry the seeds out. So is this the product for you? I don't know. I'm getting ready to use it because I was having trouble finding sulfate of potash, and I needed this in a pinch, and this is what I found. I'm gonna put this down at 3 pounds per thousand, which is going to net about, let's remember my math, it was like 3/4 pound of potassium. And then finally, our old buddy X-Soil. I'm gonna put this down at 20 pounds a thousand to try to help this sand hold more water, because that's what it's supposed to do. And I swear, when I put it on that zoysia, I didn't show it, but 2 or 3 days after I put it down that zoysia in the back, it looked like it changed the color. It like brightened it up. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. So there's definitely something in this thing. But I'm gonna throw this down at 20 pounds per thousand. Got potassium. I got starter fert with mesotrione. I got spreading to do. I'll holler at you in a little bit.
A few moments later.
Well, another successful day of yard work. Or at least we think it's successful. I think it's successful. Get back at me in a little while. Go ahead and hit the sub button. Go ahead and like the video. I'll be giving up some results on how this worked out later. This is going to be a long-term project, so I really want to see if I can keep this yard looking good in this hotter climate through next spring and summer. I know it'll be good till at least May, and then I'm gonna have to switch my game up a little bit and see if I can get it to grow in this old nasty beach sand all the way through the summer. Thanks for watching to the end. Come back and see me.